I'm Bryon Jende with the My24 Inside Look at Bob Hearts Abishola's Billy Gardell. We're here at the Milwaukee Improv at the corners of Brookfield, where Billy's going to be performing all weekend. He's got 4 shows, so come out and see him.
Thank you.
Billy, thank you so much for
Thanks for your time. I appreciate you guys.
What sparked your interest and love of comedy kind of to begin with? Like, who are your comedy heroes?
Well, what sparked my interest was my father's laughter. My dad was always watching The Honeymooners, and he always had great comedy records when we were growing up. You know, George Carlin, Richard Pryor, Jackie Gleason, those would be my comedy heroes. John Candy, certainly. You know, I think, like most comics, you know, when you discover a laugh in a tough situation, it's easier to get through that tough situation. And when you learn to hand that out, I believe it becomes kind of an act of service, and it's fulfilling. So I like that. It's a little artsy, but that's what I live by.
What can fans of your work, who might know you from the screen, expect from your comedy act this weekend?
Well, my stand-up has always been based on what I'm going through in my life. I wish I was a prolific guy that could sit down and type up his act. I envy those guys. I wasn't good at homework in high school, so this tracks. But it's more of a music thing with me. Like I kind of work it out on stage and then it locks in, but it takes me longer than most. But I always write about what's happening, and what's happening in my life right now is obviously I address losing 173 pounds. And then the next thing is I have a 21-year-old, and I think it's important that young people know that there are adults that are rooting for them rather than just complaining about them, because as parents, we have a responsibility in this. We have an accountability. We raised a generation of house cats, and now we're upset that they're scared. On top of that, they've had a pandemic, and they have to look at a phone every day that tells them the world is ending. They need some leaders out there, but not in an arrogant way. They need some people letting them know, hey man, I'm rooting for you, you got this. So I talk about that, and then I talk about being married for 25 years and making it to the good spot. You know, not a lot of couples do, and we did it. And so I'm very proud of that, and I try to offer a little experience that way too.
Billy Gardell, ladies and gentlemen, see him here at the Milwaukee Improv this weekend at the corners of Brookfield. He's got 4 great shows, so check him out.
Yep.
And see him every weeknight on My24, weeknights at 9 and 9:30.